Howdy folks, Sapper here, aka Sean, and yep, this is what my ugly face looks like anyway. It's a face only a mother could love. But, what am I bringing you? It's gonna be tough to say this, but you guys told me so, right? You told me don't. A World at War is just, it's not the game, it's not the game you want to play. You were right. So I've been sitting here. What time is it? It's 5:20 p.m. on Sunday. And I've been up here probably for 4 or 5 hours trying to go through the sequence of play. And skipping over a lot of things because it's a lot of the stuff because you have your start point in the game, so a lot of things are kind of already a lot of steps in the sequence of play you can skip over on the first turn. So I skipped over a lot of stuff, and I still haven't made it that far. I just got to the movement phase, and it's too much. There's just too many rules. This has got to be the most rules intensive game. And I know there was a comment from a guy. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. I could probably look you up. It's you made the comment that when I said that the rules were ridiculous, or there's a ridiculous amount. You made the comment that obviously I haven't seen ASL. Yes, I had never gotten into ASL. I tried the starter kit and decided that wasn't the tactical game that I wanted to get into. I think there are better tactical. No, I can't even say that because I'm not really into tactical stuff. There are tactical games out there that are less rules dense and have less minutia, if that's a good way to say that. But so just going back to A World at War, it's too much. I don't think I've ever seen so many rules to try to explain something. And so I got to the oil phase, right? So you start reading the rules on oil, where it comes from, where you have to put it into strategic reserves, which leads you to go to another place in the rules to figure out, okay, what's the strategic reserve? And then if I have oil in the Pacific, how do I get it to places? Well, you have to use transports. So now I have to read the rules on transports. And then if I want to escort the transports, now I have to read the rules on naval escorts, and then I have to. It was too much. I don't know what other way to put it. It's too much. And maybe had I started. In fact, I got a recent comment from a guy that said, "Hey, Sean, good luck, but maybe you should start with the Advanced Third Reich." Because that was the game that this one spawned off of. Maybe. I don't have Advanced Third Reich. And I know that game is an older game. It's out of print. After my experience with this, I probably wouldn't try Advanced Third Reich either because, it's a more simplified version of this, but I didn't enjoy this. It took me a couple of days to set everything up, and then just going through up to the movement phase. I got to, if you look here, I got to here. I still have all this that I needed to go through. I was like, you know what? Again, Steven, and a bunch of other guys. If you're not you said if you're not having fun playing something, then why play it? And I was like, well, I'm not gonna let this. My stubbornness was getting the best of me, right? I was like, no, I'm not gonna let this game beat me. Well, I let the game beat me. Well, so I can't recommend this if you're going to try to solo it, it's amazing. And this is the thing. I don't know if you can see it on the box. I thought about this last night. I was like, I wonder what, because GMT usually puts like the complexity level and then the solitaire suitability on their games. So I thought about it last night. I was like, let me look. Let me see what they rate this for solitaire suitability. They rate it as a 5 medium. That is an absolute lie. I would agree with the complexity being an 8 out of 9. So the complexity is high. Totally agree with that. Solitaire suitability, a 5, which is medium. Nope. I think solitaire suitability is probably a 1. I can't recommend this for. There is just no way I could recommend this to anybody that's going to try and solo this. If you're part of a game group in fact, Steven, you put it in one of your comments perfectly. Don't play this game unless you. I'd have to turn around and look at it, but one of the things I remember, if you know somebody that knows how to play it, right? Like, I would only play this with a group that knows how to play it. And it says that Bruce Campbell even puts it in the designer's notes. Hey, find somebody to play this game with. That's not always an option, right? Yeah, I could probably find somebody on Vassal. I am doing a Vassal game. I've just gotten into Vassal. I'm doing a Vassal game with somebody playing a Next War game. And I'm very familiar with Next War. Obviously, anybody who's watched any of my channel recently, I just did the Third World War thing. So I'm very comfortable with that game. But I don't know if I would want to play this on Vassal. I really don't. And honestly, while I do enjoy my opponent that I'm playing Next War with, I don't know. Vassal just doesn't. I would rather play a game solitaire or for real face to face. I don't want to do the Vassal thing. So the only way I would probably find an opponent to play this game with would be on Vassal, because I live in Knoxville, Tennessee. So, hey, anybody watching this, if you live within an hour to 2 hours of Knoxville and you want to get together for some face-to-face wargaming, leave a note in the comments section on YouTube behind me. So, this is, and let me show you what else I did. I even went as far as, let's see if I can. So if you look at all these tabs up here at the top, so I've got all the rules on PDF. So if you're crazy like me and decide you want to give this a go, download all the rules on PDF, and that way you can do the Control F search if you need to find something. I mean, this is the way to do the rules rather than look at the printed stuff, because it's just too much. It'll be too much page flipping. I mean, these are all the different sections of the rules you got up here across the top. So I even went to as far as doing all that, thinking that would help. And it does help when you want to try to find something, right? That definitely does make things easier. But let me put this back. Hopefully I'm in the frame. So yeah, I mean, I went all out, man. I gave it my best shot, but it was too frustrating. Just, again, too many rules. And again, for Bruce Campbell and his playtesters and all that, they've been playing this thing for 10, 15 years, so for them it's like, it's second nature, and it's definitely easy. It reminds me of a time when I was in college, and I went to college just recently, right? I'm 47 years old. I went to college when I was 41 or 42. It's when I retired from the Army, so I decided to go to college out of the Army. So I was one of the older students, right? Yes, I wasn't the only older student, but obviously the vast majority of people in college are fresh out of high school, right? They're in their late teens, early 20s. So I was definitely the old guy in college. But one of the courses that I had to take for my degree was some computer programming. I had to take Python and I had to take MATLAB, and just basic computer programming courses, right? Like, entry level programming. And I took Physics 1, Physics 2, I took Calculus, I took Aerodynamics, and of all of those classes, like the math classes scared me because I hadn't taken math in a while. But of all the classes that I took, the hardest ones that I took were the computer programming classes. And part of it was because the professors, one of my professors, he had been doing computer programming, teaching as well as working. He had been doing that like his entire life, right? So he was probably about my age. So he had been computer programming his entire adult life. So for him, it was second nature. And he was not able, in my opinion, he was not able to, because it was so easy for him in second nature, he just assumed that it was easy for everybody. And so anyway, where I'm getting at is those two computer programming classes. I almost quit college because of those classes. I got C's in both of those classes. All of my other classes, I got A's and B's. And I barely got a C in one of those. I think it was Python. I barely got a C. I think because of he rounded up and I was able to get a C in that class. I almost quit going to college because of that. But for him, and I think part of the reason for him teaching that class, it was just so easy. It was like breathing, right? It was an involuntary bodily function like breathing or your heartbeat. It was just that easy for him. So he took it for granted that other people wouldn't know what the heck's going on. And this game is like that. I think the guys, the designer of the game and his playtest group and his group of players that play it, they've been playing it for years. For them, it's second nature. It's no big deal. And it's something else, man. So for anybody out there that's watching this, I hope that, unless you have somebody that can to walk you through it, and you're willing to maybe go on Vassal or whatever the case may be, then I would say probably do it. I would give this a shot. If I went to a convention and there were other people playing it, I'd probably say, hey, can I jump in and can you show me some stuff? But trying to solo it, you guys told me so. You said don't do it, Sean. You said you're better off doing something else. You told me so. So anyway, so yeah, I'll be moving on to something else. It'll probably take me some time to put this nonsense away. But yeah, I'm going to move on to something else. I don't know exactly what. I know Chris really wants me to play A Time for Trumpets, but I'll look and see what I got. Might be time to step away from the monsters for a little bit and do some games that's some other stuff. I dabble in everything. I've played some Euros. I've played fantasy stuff. I'm not just strictly a war gamer, so well, we shall see. I really like Lego. Check this out. Let's get off topic real quick. I've liked Lego my entire life. Look at this, man. Look at this pirate ship. Isn't that the coolest thing? I bought this pirate ship. I've been thinking about playing Brick Wars, which is basically it's a miniatures game but using Legos. So I've been thinking about doing that for quite a while. So who knows what I'm gonna do. But my dog's barking. My dog is barking at something. She's upstairs and she's barking at something downstairs. But, everybody's tough when they're upstairs and the bad guys are downstairs, right? So anyway, there you have it, folks. Yep, the World at War got the best of me and everybody tried to warn me, but I didn't want to listen. But you know how it is, right? It's when your parents tell you the stove is hot and you don't believe and you touch the stove and then you find out that after you get burnt, yeah, the stove is hot. Well, you guys told me that the stove was hot. And now I got third-degree burns on my hands and my brain. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a great weekend. If you're watching the Super Bowl, hopefully your team wins. I'm not really much into sports anymore, but anyway, have a great weekend, and I'll be back one of these days with something else on the table. We'll figure out what it is later. But anyway, peace out.